Inter-Australia internet, I believe.
We're getting a little bit into the darkness territory, but like like have you ever seen a lot of the there's a lot of Jewish humor books that came out of like the Nazi concentration camps, and in the rationales, a lot of us used humor.
We're very much so in the dark
A lot
side
of us used humor to kind of get through the stuff. And I remember there was a book that we went over in school that had to do with some of that. But I liken the Australian scene to those survivors, where like even though the odds are against them in every conceivable way, they still manage to have a really good community. The Australian scene is a really good pro gaming community, but man, that internet, I hope you guys get that figured out eventually. Spawning into the top left, currently 0-0, as this is the first game of a best of 3, Adonminus, the red Protoss. And in the bottom right, hailing from Team Liquid, we all know him, we all love him, or for the most part, I'm pretty sure most people do. We have Snute.
By the way, touching on a quick subject, can I actually get a quick quote from you? Because it's very obvious, without Chanman being invited to commentate this event, that you guys are having a falling out. Your thoughts?
Of course.
Real quick?
Not quite yet. I mean, the only reason I've gotten as much attention for this event as I did is because I purchased the Chanman viewer bot package. I have all
I heard he mans that personally. Really, he just kind of
4,000 or 5,000 Chans in my chat right now, and it's not because I'm popular with the Chinese community.
Wow. So okay, so you went the winter approach. I get it.
Adonminus, that's where all that extra sponsor money went. Adonminus. You ever think there might be a war? I always wondered if there would be a war started with people buying bots for streamers that they hate. So like obviously like everybody thinks I hate Winter for whatever because all of the same argument. It's so funny watching my fans hate on Winter because all the same arguments that they throw at him were all the arguments people used to throw at me. Yep. He's not even that good. He just talks a lot and he's entertaining.
What is he fun?
People like it. He's not even Grandmaster, and it's interesting to see them people are like, why don't you at least watch Destiny? He's good at the game. It's like, wow, I never thought that those kinds of arguments would be used in my favor. But okay. Right. But like I ever wonder, so like there have been nights where deep in the deep recess of my mind, I'm like, wow, I kind of want to just go buy like 2,000 viewer bots for Winter and stick them on him every time he streams. And then I wonder if like Winter is like after the third day of having 6,000 fake viewers, he's like, I'm gonna start buying viewer bots and screw over Destiny now, and you get into this weird war.
You guys both have like 5 million people.
Until
it's all bots.
The League of Legends and the Dota community are coming over to Starcraft to check out.
Fox News knocking at your door like, we heard you had 10 million people watching your stream. What's going on?
What's up? What's going on here? Even Snute is opening 15 pool now.
It's interesting because in the chat, well, not in the chat, in the Team Liquid thread, someone said they're, I guess, some kind of fan of Adonminus, and I guess he does fast third Nexus 7 gates quite often. I mean, take it for what you will. It's just a live report thread comment, but that would be interesting because it's kind of funny. I wouldn't open 15 spawning pool if I knew the guy was going to gateway first, but that seems to be, I mean, this is the third game in a row now where they're just, you know what? Actually, I'm going to take some credit here. These are North American Zergs. They're worried about cannon rushes, and I think that's just all my doing, so that's probably what happened. It was me. He's even got the pylon at the natural. This is going to be the game #1 all over again. Stargate.
Yep, and the Stargate going up. Huh. Or I say Stargate going up, but the Stargate will probably go up. We haven't actually seen it yet, but...
It'll need 150 gas, but it will go up, yes. Here it comes. Here comes that probe, Steven. Hold your breath.
There we go. Robotics facility. Nope.
Nope. Immediately. Only the cleaning bot is in range to scout that, and it's not going to do it. It won't jump up that ramp. You like that? The cleaning bot comment?
Yeah.
I think that puts us at Tastosis level if I can get like a huge belly laugh out of you.
Sorry. Somebody said something in chat and I got distracted for a second. My bad.
Really? Wow.
Cleaning bot. Yeah. I don't even know which one you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm sure
no gas though from Snute, which is different. Snute's MO is to put the game. He definitely is capable of being very aggressive. That's something that's part of what makes him so amazing is everyone knows him for his swarm host and passive play, but he doesn't do that every game. He can actually do all the styles just fine. That being said, this gasless until now 6-minute double gas in the main thing.
Oh my god.
I see this as the beginning of a very passive game #1, and that Nexus is absolutely out of control.
Exactly the same as game #1. Jeez. Snute will scout it. Oh no, and Snoot's making the same folly. What are these 10 links going to do? They're not going to do anything.
No, he won't scout it.
Oh.
He's not seeing it. He sees the Stargate. He doesn't scout it. He has only slow lings because he's just now taking gas. He's making spore crawlers. Dude, this is sick. And now he walls off over here. I'm liking this Adonminus kid. He's
I wonder how. Oh, Snute did see the Stargate.
Yeah, he saw the Stargate. That's why the spore crawlers are going up. But even so, he could potentially lose his queen. Now he's gonna pull it back. That's good. But this third is done. There's nothing he can do about it. If you're not making lings already, if you don't just open speed, you can't do anything about it. Adonminus doesn't mind gas. It is natural. He goes Void Ray. He's very slow about his tech, but it's so that he can have so many probes out very quickly.
I wonder what, I don't know what... So the correct response, I think, is to try to make a... They're like, sometimes I look at ZVP in the same ways that I look at ZVZ. Like, in the... Sometimes, based on how the matchup goes, the gold actually isn't that relevant. For instance, like, in ZVP, as long as you're playing a style that requires your opponent to have some kind of tech to respond to you, and the mineral count doesn't matter as much, like if you're doing like a Swarm Host build, or like some kind of Infestor, maybe Muta stuff, where your opponent needs a lot of gas to respond, the gold isn't as relevant. But if I were doing like, if I saw Adonminus follow this fast Nexus up with like some kind of like really gateway heavy all-in, where like the extra minerals are actually really beneficial, that would be pretty hard to hold off as a Zerg. Does that make any sense?
More or less. With the extra minerals, like even if you're doing a, if you need, like you said, against Swarmos you need gas, it still allows you to have like 5 or 6 extra gateways where you're pumping out harass zealots.
Yeah, for sure.
So it has an effect, but the biggest deal here is that Snute literally doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
Sending these roaches out, they don't have much in the way of support. You can see it's 14 lings behind that and just now a lair, so this is not going to be sustained. He's got double Evo. This is more of like a test the waters, but there's already Void Rays out. There's gateways finishing up. It's going to be pure stock.
Run into that gold completely on accident.
Yep. Full energy mothership core. And I'm pretty disappointed because this build basically works because Snute didn't know that it's like it's coming. You do have to prepare for it. You can't just naturally kill it. But he should have watched the series before this and known it was possible, you know?
For sure. I'm not sure if he did or didn't. Snute seems like the kind of guy that would. Snute is actually a really big thinker. Whereas like a lot of, not to say that most programmers are dumb, but Snute is like the guy that like actually does like a lot of like the weird math and like will be able to tell you, like he'll be like, so how do you do this in like ZBT? And he'll say like, well the Reaper on this map will get to your base at 6 minutes and 42 seconds. Like he'll know that exactly, you know?
Yeah. And right now Snute's kicking himself because he isn't. If he was just stringing roaches out over here, or if he had like 4 hatch production, this could just be the end of Adonminus. He went up into the natural and he got a couple of pylons, but no probes killed. The third's still fully intact at that gold. There are those like 25,000 gateways about to finish up in the main, and this is going to be Charge Lot Archon, which is a really weird composition. But if you have a gold and this much money that's untouched, you could actually just kind of overrun the Zerg. Snute's about to get...
For sure.
He's about to get dominated.
Oh, God.
That's what I want to say. Dominated.
I like the other word because it's pretty much impossible to pronounce. Adonminus.
He's gonna get Adomus snuffed. I don't know, man. There's a pun here. It's just we're not there yet. You know what I mean?
I don't know what Snute does from here. We've got Swarm Host coming out, but this is gonna be pretty rough. If you look at the units lost, I don't know if can you see that? Control L or Shift L?
Control L. Yes, I can see that.
You see the actual units lost?
At 2600, he's literally lost.
He killed. If you've got like a game hard interface open, you can see that he's lost about 50 Zergling and 14 Roaches, and he killed 3 Zealots and 1 Sentry and 3 probes.
Now here's where if you're a Snute fan, there's hope. So it looks really bad, and Adonminus is moving out right now, which is basically the worst time possible for Snute. But he does have his Swarm Host out, and while there is a robo.
Those
There's no observers. There are the Tempests, or not Tempests, excuse me, but Oracles, but they have no energy, so there's no detection. I think Snute should be okay, and when this game slows down on this medium-sized map...
I think, my worry is that I think the Zealots are just going to overrun him. I think he might just fight into it and actually kill the Locust.
You're actually... Wouldn't that be something? So many Zealots? Nah.
Snute needs to back the Swarm Host up. Oh, yeah, it looks like maybe not.
There's too many now.
Yeah, never mind. I made the Protoss folly. You remember there was like 3 months into the game where like Zerg were starting to use Swarm Host and Protoss still didn't figure out that it's like never a good idea to sit and fight and you would have like a Protoss with like 30 or 40 gateway units, and there'd be like 20 locals. They'd be like, I'll fight it. And you just sit there and you watch the gateway units just die one at a time over. And then by the time they finally kill it, the next wave is there.
I know, that's the worst part.
You mean the best part, right?
Yeah, Protoss learned just kind of ignore it, but we do have that War Prism coming out. Stargate's already going up behind this, and he does get that 4th base. That's nice. The 4th base is what allows Zergs to really, with Swarmhost style, forever, you know, make whatever they want. The Swarmhosts don't really die, so they can always make Lings, make Corruptors, Infestors, that kind of stuff.
For sure.
And I love that Adonminus is so hyper-aggressive about moving around against Swarmhost play. That's his real strength here.
Yeah, definitely. Being aggressive and being all over the Zerg side of the map and not letting him, you know, kind of get in that comfortable, safe zone of, hey, I'm going to start massing Swarmhosts and Queens and Corruptors and Vipers and you're screwed. It's really, really good. Oh, and the Warp Prism coming out, too. That's going to be really annoying to deal with.
I don't like that he shows it off like this. I would have loved it if it swung down left side. And I mean, it looks like Snute might not notice it anyways.
He is pulling his
Queens are coming in. He notices. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't like that he did that, but... And this Zealot Warpman kind of works to Snute's favor, actually. Well, no, the Queens actually ditched it.
He didn't target the Warp Prism. Oh, no, all of the Swarmhosts in the middle getting caught out.
And then the Hunter becomes the hunted Steven. Whoa! He's killing Creep Teamers, though. Indeed. But in the main, big success here.
Yeah, lots of Zealots being worked
lots in. Yeah, he's just everywhere. Snute's just falling apart here. In the 3rd, there's Zealots. I wish he had better target priority in the main. He's like killing one of the gases. You need to go for the Hive. Get the Hive out of the way. Yeah. Oh no, all those Queens, they can transfuse for days. Never mind. Watch this Hive. Unless he somehow lost that, that'd be incredible.
Incredibly sad. That would be a bad misstep. He's still got a good number of transfuses left here, so he should be fine. Adonminus already setting up his 4th. Already got that 3 Stargate production. Man, this is not what I wanted.
I don't know.
It's not what I wanted in my tournament. Zergs have been doing so good against Protosses lately, and to just watch Adonminus just completely step all over.
I don't have to worry about Adonminus rolling over the competition with this one build that he does over and over again. Like,
I mean, I don't like Snute's position in this game, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, he has.
No, he's. I'm just saying, Adonminus is getting away with this right now. If you're a Snute fan, you gotta be pretty disappointed because this build is based on, like, it's a roll of the dice to begin with, because if Snute just does what a lot of Zergs do and just opens up kind of aggressively, it just dies. That 3rd cannot be defended with a Stargate. It just can't. But it does get defended if your player opens up very passively like this and has no aggressive options.
But it's like the worst of both worlds, because both Snute and Petraeus were semi-aggressive. Like, there's nothing worse than being aggressive and accomplishing nothing with it, you know? Like, it's the worst feeling ever. Like, you committed some units, but not enough to actually do anything. And I mean, and to be fair, Snute did it even worse than Petraeus, you know? Well, it was like almost 20 roaches, like 30 lings, and he didn't kill anything.
That's a very good point. It would be better off if he saw that 3rd,
and or
didn't see that 3rd, just took a 4th and droned to like 85 and was super greedy.
For sure.
But he did the middle of the road thing, which is like, oh god, I'm gonna kind of attack and kill 3 Zealots in a Sentry. And now the first Void Ray, oh no, that's actually a Void Ray from earlier on, so he still might not necessarily know. The good news is, Snute has a shit ton of Queens, and those are actually Void Rays. Like, these Void Rays,
no.
They're gonna do some damage here, but the Queens are gonna hold this off.
Oh my god, 5 Swarmhosts just instantly killed. Gotta be really careful with those Swarmhosts. The Void Ray overcharge is really disgusting.
He's only got 22 others.
Yeah.
He's fine. There's no ground armor for him to deal with. It's all about air right now. He actually doesn't want, if we're going to be that weird guy on Reddit that's like, well, mathematically, actually, it's good that he lost the 5 Swarmos because that can now he can have 8 more Queens.
And actually, I'm really scared to say this against Snute because Snute knows his shit so well. Lately, I haven't been building any more than 16 Swarmos. I feel like when you get past 16, like, it's not even diminishing returns so much on the Swarmhouse so much as it means you have so many less Queens, so many less Vipers, so many less Corruptors. I actually get really worried having that high a number. I think 22 might be far too many, in my personal opinion. Obviously, Snute disagrees, but...
Yeah, I think he's pretty okay with that, but that'd be an interesting topic of discussion here. The Voider's going to swing around here, but the Queens are already there. Great creep spread by Snute, and you should with 1,000,000 Queens. And here you go, you can have that fight. It's fighting against like a... What would that even be compared to in another game? It's like a bunch of clerics. If you're a D&D guy, it's like a team of 10 clerics together. Very frustrating fight.
Sure. I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons because JP wouldn't invite me on his show. But
Chanman, when's he making his, man?
The table. Oh, can you imagine? I love Chanman, but could you imagine him as the DM?
Yeah.
Oh no, it would be way.
That would be
funny.
a really calm, very gentle game. That'd be amazing. I love that Snute in the midst of this is being aggressive with the Swarmos. He pushes them forward.
You just
obviously, this can turn sour pretty quick, but by doing this, he's shut down the gold, and he's putting pressure on Adonminus.
These Void Rays are all gonna die, 100%. 3 fungals available. Oh, unless we lose all the infestors.
This is nice.
2 more fungals available.
Snute's silently up 60 supply, by the way. I'm not quite sure how that's happening right now.
We had alright.
Wait, Steven. Is Snute winning?
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of called Snute out of this, but Adonminus losing all of those Void Rays? Yeah, for sure. Losing
how
all those...
the flying fuck did that happen?
Losing all those Void Rays for Adonminus is bad, but I mean, to be fair, Adonminus is taking lots of base, but he doesn't have anything. Am I missing something?
He has a bunch of Tempests, which like compositionally are okay, because technically the Zerg's supposed to change up what they're making, like they need Corruptors. But Snute's so smart and patient, he's like, actually I have a million Queens, you'll never kill them. No, I won't kill your Tempest, but they're so slow in terms of attack rate that I don't really have to worry about them. He's just now making a Spire at minute 22, and by the time he gets around to dealing with those Tempests, it's fine. The Tempests they're not scary. They don't gun down a million units, right? Like, they can get out of hand, but Snute just needs time, and he's gonna have it.
Yeah, for sure. I think Snute got a good handle on all of the. There were 2 things. He started dealing with Adonminus's aggression really well, and also him being aggressive with these swarm hosts. Something that you pointed out. That's actually really good. He's been killing the probes at the gold quite often. I mean, if you check. Well, let me check. I might have just made that up.
He actually pulled him off. He didn't kill a whole lot of probes, but he didn't let him mine from there.
He got 17 worker kills in a game where he's kind of been being harassed all game. That's not that bad. So I mean,
look at this fucking middle base again, middle left with the 0 pylon. If this happens again, Steven, I quit. I'm out of here. Because I can't believe in this day and age this happens. Look at the base, no pylons.
The undefended. Well, he does have pylons at the bottom one at least.
Yes, he has pylons at every other base. You're supposed to. This is not Sim City. This is not like a, you know, you don't get a news report from this base like, hey guys, things are going great here. We had a small uprising of like B&Es, but other than that, things are going great. Like, you don't name this town and shit. Oh, okay, there's the mothership.
Oh man.
Yeah, look at this though.
Snute is about to wreck this base. I wonder if...
No, he's about to go right past it. No, there he goes. Okay, good. But just make 20 adrenalings, like run around and kill stuff. This base would die a million years ago.
Sure.
Alright, now that's the Protoss army. That's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now... Okay, so this is what Adonminus has been doing for the past 10 minutes of D&D talk.
I built up to this moment in time. Now Queen Infestor is actually gonna have a tough time. But... Oh, the Templar.
Oh, no! Oh, my God!
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's the best feeling in the world as a Zerg. that looked so good. All the High Templars stepping out. What was that? 7, 8 of them just died like instantly.
He needs a mothership. He has. I don't understand that. Like you don't build up a super army at this stage against Swarm Host and just not have the mothership. He doesn't have any Colossus. He has Archons on the ground, which like looks cool for killing tumors. But the second any number of Locusts come in there, they just disappear. And then he's tied up with a bunch of Tempests that have low attack rate. And they will just get held in place and very painfully and slowly killed by the Queens. Like, this is... It looks scary, but this really actually... Just moving around like this is not scary. Oh my god. Imagine if he had, you know, like 6 Colossus, a mothership that, you know, makes him invisible.
Normally, I think the Colossus missing, actually, I think, are a pretty big part. It makes it so that it's so much harder to kind of get those fungals off. Because you have the same range, you know? Or
it's okay to not go Colossus. I agree with you. They are really good in this composition.
Just having just like 3 or 4, I feel like is so helpful.
Yeah, but they die to the Locust, so like it's okay to not have them. That being said, though, he's lost droves of Templar. His Archons are just symbolically here. They will die the second the fight begins. There's the mothership, by the way. If he can max out on Tempest, that's when it becomes kind of cool. He's adding Void Rays because he's worried about any kind of Corruptors. That's good. But he needs to start picking off bases or doing damage. Just defending and holding back, letting Snute make Spore Crawlers, letting Snute kind of... He's got double Spire now, I believe, so he should be upgrading. Yep, there they are. He's actually forgetting one, but whatever. If he gets up to 3/3 Corruptors, he could just shut this down.
Maybe. Got to be careful with the Void Rays can actually kill stuff really fast, depending how many there are. But I mean, in combination with like fungal growth, yeah, I mean he'll start wrecking that air pretty fast.
Oh, the Void Rays!
He's stepping out pretty far there.
The fungals that never end. He needs to get the Tempest up here and shoot down all the. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so here's an honest question: how does Adonminus kill queens? He has nothing to do it with. He doesn't have that many Void Ray. He has no Colossus. How does he kill the queens ever? Tempests take forever to kill queens. Are they? Oh, I guess he does have enough to one-shot him, at least so the transfuses aren't as relevant. But
it's enough to one-shot him, but there's a million of them. I agree with you. He needed the Templar for feedback, but he's been having a tough time keeping them alive. Losing the Mothership there was a big deal. He needed a recall out. But he just kind of has gone about this whole fight pretty sloppily. Like, he just kind of leaned into it, got fooled, and then a million queens throw stones at things until they die.
For sure.
This is actually pretty uninspiring way of. I mean, Snute was way behind, and now he's way ahead. I can't see him losing this in a million years.
Oh yeah, here come the Corruptors. Oh, never mind. I quite changed his mind there, but yeah, I mean, Snute's in a really good spot. He's got a huge bank built up. He's got the army that he wants, and more importantly than anything else, from the looks of it, I think Snute is more comfortable playing this late game than Adonminus is. It's pretty obvious with the way that Snute's army control and composition is going versus Adonminus is that Snute has a lot more experience in this late game matchup than Adonminus does.
This is Snute's wheelhouse. This is what he's known for sure. And here come the Corruptors with a battery of queens behind it. They're going to back away, I suppose, because they want to be over the top of Archons.
And not only...
For me, like, the only thing working against Snute is that all his AA, like the queens and infestors, are so fat, they take up so much space that they're having a tough time fighting, but other than that, it's just a matter of time.
Not only is Snute actually trading well, he can even afford to trade unwell, disadvantageously, and still be doing just fine. He's got so much of a bank built up.
Yeah. He needs to get a few Vipers, I feel, to just kind of duck stuff out of this, but he's going to go for the fight right now. Again, he's trying to avoid the Archons, but at this point he might actually just not care. This might be fucks given. There it is.
The Locusts do end up dying, so these Archons are going to get some pretty good shots on the Corruptors here. Actually, this is a little bit sloppy on Snute. He's going to lose...
He can afford it, though. Look
yeah,
at the bank.
Mean, he can afford it. Yeah, I mean, that's right. I say that, but I mean, he can replace these. You look at the production tab, 14 Corruptors already queued up again. Snute just doesn't really care that much. He knows that if he destroys these Tempests, he's going to have a much easier time replacing his army than Adonminus is. And Adonminus, I don't think, ever really made it even past like 150 supply. I'm not sure what he had when he was on that big army. He might have had more than that, but every time I take a look at the supply, I see like Snute was like 30, 40, 50 ahead, and now he's, you know, 120 ahead.
I think for a hot minute he was over 150, but this air switch is really cool.
Before he lost all the High Templar.
Yeah, exactly. Like we saw in the Patreus game where he was harassing and the air army came in and started killing bases, started dealing damage, but what he did with this air army is he was like, surprise, I'm here, but then the queens and the fungals destroyed all the void rays, and then it was Tempest like fighting Locust trying to stop him from killing bases. That's not what you want to be doing. You want to be creating space with Tempest. That's the whole reason they shoot a million miles. And here comes the Templar again. I actually don't think they have Storm.
I was actually just about to say, has he stormed a single time this game?
Let me see here. It's one, and yes, he does have Storm, but no, he's not stormed a single time.
Oh no. That feel when feedbacking units that don't have enough energy to actually die.
Yeah.
Never good.
Well, that's his whole army. Like, that's the other part, too. He's like, alright, Void Rays, we got a big job ahead of us, but it is doable. According to my experience, if I can just get 9 of you, I probably should just win the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Snute's gonna clean up this. The army of Adonminus is right here. We're looking at it.
Yeah. It's, this should be GG. There it is. And he taps out. Great play by Snute. Like, you know, we were being very critical, and I feel like we were fine to be hypercritical, because I liked this build from Adonminus, and, you know, okay, it's a new series. Like you said, maybe Snute did not watch it, so Adonminus wins the early game. He just gets away with a third. He loses barely anything. He stops the aggression of Snute easily, and then he turns that around and starts picking stuff off. Snute goes for his signature Swarm Host. Things slow down, and then we see the Master at work. He holds off the Void Rays with nothing but queens, gets Infestors out, then dominates. And then the game, it never looked like Snute was in danger at all from that point forward.
Yeah,
and it's the thing of beauty. If I'm Adonminus, you know what, Steven? I'm going to call it right now. Guess what game number 2 is going to be?
Some kind of...
Exactly it's going to be 7-gate. It's going to be exactly what he did in game number 2 against Betrayus. Exactly the same build.
For sure. I think, yeah, I mean, like I said, I said this yesterday in one of the Hero vs. Life games. These are the worst kind of games to lose that I feel like destroys your mentality, because Adonminus hit every checkmark that he wanted to in his early game there, I think. He was harassing all the bases, he killed a sizable number of drones in the main, he managed to snipe the 4th, he got his quick greedy gold off, Snute rushed him with a ton of units and did no damage after losing a ton of stuff for free. Like, the game opened as well as Adonminus, honestly better than he should have ever expected it to. Like, you would never want to have a build that's like, all right, this will work if my opponent throws away 40 units, you know, in the mid game. And I said, like, and he did. Snute did throw away all those units, and Adonminus still lost in the late game because Snute's late game ZVP is just so good. Yeah. So if you lose a game like that, like, you're never gonna be in a better position mid game than he was right there. So I don't see how Adonminus could ever approach another game with the mentality of, I'm just going to draw Snute out into a macro game and play. So like you said, I definitely agree. I think we're going to see some very aggressive builds out of Adonminus now. And again, really, really, really nice play by Snute there. I do think that he was a little bit behind after... No, I mean, I'll say with confidence that he was definitely behind. Yeah, he was definitely behind after the failed attack on the gold, and all the harassing that Adonminus was doing was very good. But I mean, Snute was doing some really mature things that are really hard for HOTS to do, that we didn't even mention. Like, burrowing just 3 swarm hosts in his main to deal with the zones and the archons. Zerg, you don't want to do that as a Zerg. That hurts you. Like, I don't want to separate my swarms. Like, they're a family. They function together. To just leave 3 in the main, that can be like a really hard decision.
It's just not as cool.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's way cooler when there's a million locusts together, not when there's, you know,
for sure,
fragmented numbers.
Yeah. And also the idea that, like, okay, I'm Zerg, I'm just going to build all my shit, I'm going to build up my big army, and I'm going to slowly push across the map. Snute was like, nah, fuck that. He's kind of pressuring me with his ward race. I'm just going to go move 12 swarm hosts across the map and just burrow them outside of his base and just harass them over and over and over again. And I mean, that costs attention for the Protoss. You know, the Protoss can't dedicate harassing as much when he's constantly having to pull probes from his gold because this crazy Zerg player is moving his swarm hosts across the map and attacking, even though he doesn't necessarily have map control, you know, because all of your void race on the other end of the map. So really, really, really good swarm host play by Snute, which almost seems dumb to say because, I mean, he's known for it at this point. But, I mean, you kind of see it last game why he's known for it. Really, really good decision-making there all game by Snute.
Still a thing of beauty, and I agree. And it was looking dire. Even getting past the early stage where we can agree Adonminus was winning by quite a bit, even in the early swarm host stuff, Snute loses his 4th. His main nearly goes down. A lot of tech was lost. A few drones did die. But his crisis control, and like you said, segmenting off some swarm hosts to just make sure that the main is solidified, and then, you know, anchoring the entire Zerg existence in that game by having a squad of 12-some-odd queens moving around, transfusing, and very slowly holding off all attacks against even Zealots and War Prisms was really nice. And Adonminus, by the way, you know, we're singing the praises of Snute. He got away with this build again, so, you know, tip of the fedora to him. But he also, he was expanding quite a bit behind this. He's managing his economy pretty well. I think the big slip-up, obviously, was seeing Infestors and still moving out with the Void Rays. That was quite bad. And then composition-wise, just going pure Tempest, that's good as long as you're out on the map dealing the damage earlier on. But he wasn't able to ever do that because he was defending against the Swarmos on a small map, and I think that was a little bit of an oversight.
For sure. Yeah, I guess we're about to hop into Game 2. Game is starting now, countdown at 8 seconds. I guess we'll see how Adonminus decides to play this one out, but...
Exactly the same, I'm telling you. It's even the same map. And you know what really confirms this for me is, A, the late game of Snute looks so nasty, but B, because he got away with his game number 1 build, Snute either did not watch that series, and I'm guessing Adonminus is reaching that conclusion, or... if he did, he's just kind of like, well, this is what I do. I'm not going to break away from that, in which case Adonminus can say, all right, well, I won the early game. Let's try to actually win the early game this time around and not go to late game.